What's up, Mortgage Coach community? I've got Ryan Grant. I think this is like going on the fifth time I've interviewed you, dude. How's it going?
It is going great. I am sitting outside the Coliseum. I'm about to watch my daughter cheerlead a Rams game, so I apologize if I'm in the car right now, but happy to be here.
Well, thank you for making time. I already cleared everybody. We're not taking any time away from his daughter. He's got some minutes to talk about us, to us. So this is a mortgage strategy that you showed me a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, we've got to show this to the Mortgage Coach community. So before you walk us through the story and the strategy at hand, how are you closing out the year? How is November looking, and how do you think December's going to look?
Yeah, we're ending really strong. We had a big uptick in purchase business. A lot of our clients have, that decided maybe not to buy earlier or really back and trying to take advantage of the market now. And so I think we'll help 30 some odd families in November, and then tracking on a similar number for December. So total volume should close out a little above 180 million for the year, which for us is a big win. So we're excited.
Yeah, it's a big win for everybody, brother. That's a monster production. So congratulations. So
thank you.
So tell us about the story and the strategy that we're going to review. Think of it like a case. And I want to teach the Mortgage Coach community that want to be a black belt in advice, and they want to know how to be an advisor. Walk us through the story and the strategy here.
Yeah, so the Davidsons approached us. They were referred by an agent, and they, very much like most people in Orange County, had sticker shock when it came to what they were paying in rent versus what they would ultimately be able to buy. Right, and at an average $850 purchase price, you get kind of an average, home, unfortunately, here. And so they were concerned on if they should buy, could they buy? They went online like most people and played with some mortgage calculators and scared themselves. So we said, look, there's a lot more to this. We want to make sure you understand how you can do it, both on your own, and then if you could incorporate your family planning into that as well. And so the latter part of it is how we incorporated having their parents invest in real estate with them through some gift funds, and having them ultimately, participate in the upside of that equity. So we talk a lot about generational wealth planning in our world. So we always introduce upside of the generation and the downside of the generation. And that helps people make better real estate and financial decisions holistically.
Got it. So did these folks come into your office? So was it an in-person experience?
Yep. Yeah.
And then you're going to walk us through a total cost analysis, and you're going to show how you presented. I just want to give everybody a reminder, when did they get the TCA? Like, do you have a phone call and then the total cost analysis ready? When does that get introduced into the conversation?
Yeah, so a lot of you just saw Sosi. He's a member of our team. I think Dave just interviewed him. He said it clearly. We spent about 20 minutes on the phone with him doing a dreams and goals call to get all the data and kind of discovery. And then we prepare the TCA. So when they come in the office, we present it to them at that time. And then after they leave the office, we email that version to them. And then we continue to update it as they're looking at more homes and looking at potential offers over time.
So guys, the interview that he's referring to, I'll put a link down below. Sosi, how many years has Sosi been in the business now?
This is like Sosi's second full year. He's a great example of, if you really buy into the way that we do business and the value proposition that we deliver. He was, he probably won't like me for saying this, but when he first came on a couple years ago, he would take a loan and no loan for 2 months and then another loan. And when he really committed himself to this process and the way we do things, he'll help 12 to 15 families probably, a month, and he'll do 50 million in volume and be a President's Club guy here at Fairway, which is not easy to do. And, Mortgage Coach was a big part of his world, along with a lot of what we teach. So, we're excited for him.
Yeah. And so the message I want you guys to get is the power of planning, having a great conversation with the family, getting them into your office, and delivering that consultative experience. So walk us through, go ahead and share your screen. I'll tell you when I see it, and walk us through this case study.
Yeah, so the first thing we had to do was we had to bridge the gap between what the Davidsons were comparing. And the common mistake that a lot of soon to be homeowners are going to make is they compare where they don't want to live for the next 5 years versus where they really want to live for the next 5 years. So, with them, we looked at, from a rent perspective, I think they were paying roughly around $2,600 a month in rent, if I recall correctly. And, the first thing I said is, okay, because we don't care what the outcome of this meeting is, we don't care if you buy a home or not. Let's assume that you don't buy a home, right? If you don't end up buying a home, could you happily and comfortably live in your current rental for the next 5+ years, right? Because that's helps people really compare apples to apples. And they said, no, we couldn't. We'd want to get something bigger, different, in a different location. And I said, okay, so if you were to rent the home that you'd want to live in for the next 5 years as opposed to buying it, what would you pay to rent that home? Right. And I think they said about $500 more per month, right? So that took us from $2,600 to $3,100. Right. So the $3,100 per month that they would have paid in rent, we had to use that as a starting point. And we basically said, all right, now we pulled up Rent Cafe, right? And Rent Cafe will show you what your increase in your rent in your market will be on an annual basis, and about 3% down here in San Clemente where they were looking. And so it ends up being about $100 more per month. So I said over 5 years, you'll go from $3,100 to $3,600, right? So if we just use an average of that, which is kind of where we came up with that rent of $3,384, that's where we are able to then show them, all right, here's where you can see, a pretty significant pickup. And this is the number you want to compare versus, what you're paying right now in $2,600, because you shouldn't, it would be an unfair comparison. And that's the first step to getting someone to really compare renting versus owning, is they have to compare where they would rent in the home they would want to rent 5 years from now versus the new house, not where they're living now, where they don't want to live, where rent will change next year versus the house. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. And I want everybody to pull that away. They mutually came up with this with the client. If you just do this in a vacuum and it's not a collaborative process, the whole report doesn't work. It needs to be collaborative. There needs to be buy-in. And whether you're doing a refi, whether you're doing a move up analysis, whether you're, showing invest the difference, there just has to be this buy-in. But once you have the buy-in, first of all, you are in a place with that customer that no other loan officer has been. You're showing care, and now you're helping them make a decision. So I love the way you covered that in detail. So keep it rolling.
Yeah, and it was really important for them to, like you said, it's important for them to give me the information, right? I'm not telling them what they're going to pay. They're telling me what they're going to pay and where they're going to live, right? So we come to that number together. So that's a good point. So, first thing we did is we showed them based upon kind of what they had told me they wanted to pay, what that would look like. And 650 wasn't going to get them really what they wanted, right? So we knew they had this, approximately $150 for down payment. We didn't want to fully exhaust the down payment. We always talk about post-closing liquidity with our clients and what that means and how important it is, especially with children. And then we dove into, okay, what would your payment be, your tax benefit, how much your principal, and they could see ultimately that the pretty significant difference they would have had versus renting a property, right? And that is appealing. But unfortunately, it didn't get them the type of property and the location of the property they wanted. So then we showed them the family planning aspect of it, which is, okay, let's talk to me about your parents. A lot of people miss this, right? It's, are your parents going to be a burden on you when it comes to having to help them financially? Will you have to take them into your home? Are they going to be set? Will they be able to pay their bills? What does their retirement look like? And most people just haven't had this conversation with their parents because it's uncomfortable. And a lot of families don't like talking about money. So we kind of help our clients take that step because it's important. And then also we ask, would you be planning on inheriting any money? And I know we're not, we don't want to make this a part of our plan, obviously, but we also want to be realistic about if they could help you with additional down payment funds and they could kind of co-invest in the real estate with you, right, and help you at the same time, kind of early inheritance type thing, how beneficial could that be? And how close can we get you to the payment you want? And what would that mean for your long-term success in real estate, right? And so we just basically showed them, hey, if your parents can kick in some extra money, an extra roughly $60,000 or so, we can get you to this purchase price range. You can see after the payment, the principal paid, the tax benefit, everything all included, like the numbers end up coming out really in a better place. And now granted, they're going to have to pay a little bit more per month, but that monthly payment difference compared to what they were going to pay in rent in 5 years anyways really got them to kind of see it differently. I think they get them to understand, yeah, I mean, if I'm going to be paying $384 to rent of 5 years, we might as well get into the 950 place now with the help of our parents, and we can make that monthly payment knowing that we're going to get some tax benefit and some principal benefit. So we were able to show them a lot of that, which helped them make a good decision. I think they ended up buying for right around 900 or so. And we got them in a great place, and they're super happy, and their parents were helpful. But just kind of take you through this. It just shows a difference in payments, and obviously most people know this stuff.
Yeah. So go to the very bottom, because I want to just talk a little bit about how, as you, not the very, very bottom, but now you can really start looking at net worth over time, guys. And this is where it gets life-changing for the family. And when you put this in writing and you make this well documented, it helps them have a more effective conversation with their parents or family members. And I also want to make sure everybody caught early on, it's not like Ryan is selling home ownership. He even said, my role's not here, like whether you buy or don't buy, I'm here to just help you make an informed decision and consider some of your options. So I think that's an important note, that you're not just, pushing your ideas and strategies on the family. Anything else you want to cover, Ryan?
No, I think that's a great point, is that, if you just remove the outcome of the conversation from your mind, you can be a lot more analytical about how to present options, and also you don't come across as salesy, right? You just are very consultative, and you're very advice-based. And you just have to learn to think differently. And that's one of the things we teach on the Art of Homeownership is we want you to be the highest level IQ mortgage professional in your market. And a part of that has to do with understanding intergenerational family planning, right? It has to do with understanding that parents could be a financial benefit or financial burden. And we need to figure out where that stands, because if I didn't bring that into the equation, they wouldn't have thought of it, right? And then if we weren't able to then talk to their parents about it, they wouldn't have been able to buy into it. Right. But parents have substantial assets. They were willing to help, and some children are prideful. And so they would rather wait until their parents would unfortunately pass, and then 20 years from now, try and have an opportunity with that money. And that doesn't make a lot of sense in a world where they would get the money anyways. Let's have them utilize it in a way they can now. So a lot of that stuff is going to be really important for you to know, especially as home affordability becomes more and more difficult. In 2020, we're expected to see even higher home prices, higher rent prices because of higher home prices. So helping your clients navigate through that, and being able to comprehend home ownership in a way they wouldn't have otherwise is really important.
So stop sharing the screen real quick, just so we can close out without the screen taken up. So guys, listen to all the language that Ryan uses. I really recommend, you want to be an advisor, go back and listen to the words that he's using, generational planning. There's a few others that I have to go back and listen to myself, but you can tell he is not, and I love that. Don't be connected with the outcome, just be connected with the process, and be connected with genuine curiosity to find out, what are their goals, what are their hopes, what are their dreams, and now genuine curiosity to put together some options and see where that takes us. If you just can kind of change your thoughts on that, you'll be a lot more successful. You'll be a better advisor. One last thought on my part, I want to make sure that you don't look at this case study and go, oh, this is a case study to go help buyers borrow money from their parents to buy a bigger home. Although sure. I do hope you guys got the fact that Ryan was able to do that. Most loan officers, oh, this is what home you want, let me pre-qualify, let's take that. I mean, this is transformational leadership, where he got the client to think differently than when they came in to meet with him. And then he got the family to think differently, and they actually made a great family decision, multi-generational family decision. So that's what's possible when you're a great mortgage planner, to do that. But I hope the takeaway for everybody is, every single time you're dealing with a someone who's first-time home buyer, help them really understand the wealth benefits of homeownership and take them through a rent versus own. So Ryan, any final words for the mortgage coach community as we wrap this up?
Yeah, I know. We know on one of our last ones, we talked about the challenger sale, and effectively that's what we're doing here, right? We're challenging the way someone thinks. We are teaching them something that they will always remember, and we're providing value that is not really expected of us. And that's all what is going to be the difference between being the most valuable person in the lives of your clients and just being someone who sells debt to people who already think they know what they want. So challenge the way people think, challenge their level of comfort when it comes to maybe asking family members for help, and explain, use case studies, use scenarios in which it makes sense for all parties to do this. So again, this is not to get people to go borrow money from the bank of mom and dad, but it is to help people in ways that they probably wouldn't have thought of otherwise, which is really what our job is.
Love that. So guys, I hope you got value from this. If you did, give us a like down below. Make sure you share this with your mortgage friends. If you want to learn more about Ryan and the art of homeownership, I did an interview with him on that. Also, Ryan, if anybody wants to learn more about your art of homeownership platform, where do they go?
Yeah, just go to artofhomeownership.com and then click on the mortgage professional section, and then you can sign up and we'll invite you to one of our Monday weekly webinars. You could also email support@artofhomeownership.com. We can talk to you all about it. Some of the markets are actually starting to kind of sell out right now. So if you're interested in locking up a space in your market to be one of the valuable mortgage professionals there and differentiate yourself, we'd love to have you.
Beautiful. Well, hey, brother, thank you for your time. Enjoy your time with your daughter. And thanks for all the value you bring to the mortgage coach community. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, Dave, thank you for everything. Mortgage coach community, happy early Thanksgiving. I hope you guys have an awesome time with your families. And Dave, same to you. Thanks for all you do for us and everybody in our world.
All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great Thanksgiving.